a 194 in an all-mark game. This is definitely my best memory. I started out bowling like 3 spares in a row, I believe, and then I was just bowling. I didn't think anything about all-mark game. I don't even believe I looked at my score, to be honest with you. And I was on my last frame. I had the 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and at that point I was like, oh, okay, I gotta make this one. It is not easy to make. I was like, you know what, you've had a great game this whole entire 9 frames. So then when I threw it, the pin hit it when it was sliding off the walls. So it slid off like 2 times and then hit the 9 pin. And then that was just awesome. We were like, everybody was happy, we were cheering and everything.
We got a call from the school, and
I was at work. Brian called me. He goes, Chris, the nurse just called me. Nick fell.
I was in a playground and all of a sudden I collapsed. And then I was brought to the nurse's room.
went to pick him up. He was just limping. He said that he was running around the recess and his left leg gave way.
So I was limping a little bit. My dad was asking why I was limping. I didn't even think I was limping, to be honest with you, but I was.
And we brought him home. The next day, he couldn't walk. So we took him to the doctor, and we had a whole bunch of x-rays done, chest x-rays, hip x-rays, and everything came back negative, and then we had to take him to Sinai Hospital here in Baltimore.
The doctors and everything couldn't figure out what happened.
They never knew what was going on, and they just said, well, we think we're going to do this. We tested him for Lyme's, and I just remember just being broken, just falling apart.
And a few weeks before that, I had a flu shot. So when I had that flu shot a couple of weeks ago, I've had leg pains in the morning, but we all thought it was like Charlie horses and everything. No one would think that this would happen, but apparently my body, or my spinal cord in the back, reacted to it. And
basically what it was Guillain-Barré syndrome. He had a flu shot 2 weeks prior, and it starts in your feet and it works your way up the body, and basically we caught it before it got any higher than his waist.
Just one thing after another. And we got it together, and we figured we just got to stick together and figure out what we need to do.
He doesn't have any movement in the left leg at all. He can feel everything in both legs, but he's never regained anything in the left leg.
He just has a hard time with that leg. It's just like it just doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. So his right leg's a little bit stronger, and it's able to hold on a little bit more weight.
And then it was starting to get to my right leg, but then we fixed that out through physical therapy.
The right leg has come back to where you can stand on it.
Yeah, my right's pretty good. That's kind of how I stop when I bowl. Just have my leg on the ground.
It's your brakes?
Yeah.
The only thing really changing with Nick is that he's now in a wheelchair. I mean, his attitude, when this happened, I remember getting out of the rehab and being at the pool for the first time, and his brothers and sisters and everybody was going up this 8-foot ladder, and I get a little teary with that one. But he was sitting on the side of the pool, and he goes to me, he goes, "I'm never going to be able to do things like that." And I sat to him and I said, "Nick, we have to figure things out differently." And so I said, "How do you think we can get across, do it?" And he goes, "I don't know." I said, "Well, you know what? Let's try swimming across the pool, and maybe we can crowd crawl. And I bet you still have that upper body strength, and you can pull yourself up that ladder. And I bet your dad can stand behind you so you don't fall." And he goes, "Okay." I said, "You want to try it?" He goes, "No." 5 minutes later, he goes, Mom, I think I want to try that. So he swims across the pool, and he gets himself out, and he gets to the ladder. And I said, Brian, can you stand behind Nick? He's going to try to go up there. And he goes, okay. So he stood up there, and he crawled himself all the way up that slide, and he slid down there. And I don't think anything stopped him since.
He's never let anything stop him from doing what he wants to do. I mean, he played baseball.
I used to be a catcher. My dad used to get right behind me, so if the ball passed me, he would be able to throw it right back to the pitcher.
He would go up in his wheelchair and hit, and somebody would run for him.
I kind of had to relearn some things, but when I started out, you obviously have to have your shoulders up. And whenever I went up to the plate, I would take out my footrests to have my feet on the ground, and I would get up there, and whenever a pitch came over, I would just like come back, hit it, and I put some force in there, and it would usually just make it over to third base or over their heads.
And funny story about that is, kids at their age, they kind of are afraid of the ball. So at practices, we would put the kids in the wheelchair and say, hey, they can't go anywhere when the ball comes. So you guys got to learn to be, not afraid of the ball. So.
And then when baseball season was over, we kind of got a little bored a little bit. And then my dad started getting into duckpin bowling, so we started practicing and everything. And when we started practicing, I was asking my dad, do you think I can bowl it? And we were like, let's just try it. And I was bowling with bumpers at first for a couple of months, and then once I stopped hitting the bumpers, I was like, let's try it without bumpers. My first game, I believe, was a 49, but after a year of practicing, I started wanting to do a league.
So we all got back into it at the same time, and they just loved it from the beginning. And they bowl Saturday mornings for the regular league, and then they bowl travel on Sunday too. So we're in the bowling alley all weekend.
Bowling with your team, I think it's so fun that you get to socialize with them when you're bowling, get to cheer on your teammates.
I think Nick's become the biggest problem solver I ever know. He's just, okay, I want to do that, so we're just going to figure out how we're going to do it. And honestly, I don't know how we figured out how to do the duck pin, but everybody tells me it's simply amazing. He just figured it out on his own.
When I started teaching myself, every time I go up to the line, I take a deep breath before I bowl. No pressure, just like my all-mark game. Every time I went up there, I took a deep breath.
He loves duckpin bowling. I mean, it's just everybody I talk to, it's amazing the way he goes up there and stops in one fluid motion, just like anybody would walk up there and throw the ball regularly.
I don't think anybody kind of sees me doing it in a wheelchair. I think they give me the same advice as any other bowler would.
He has teachers that will try to do things for him, and he'll say, no, I got it.
I feel pretty normal. I like to look at the bright side of things, to be honest with you. We made it to states. We made it. We finished first in our division for Bantam. And then we made our nationals, and we came in second place and missed it by 12 pins. But I believe it was a great time and all that. So I suggest you guys should come on down, play some duckpin, and grow the sport out. I think it's really fun. It might be a little bit hard, but that's the challenge of it. I'm a hockey fan. I like football too, and baseball. My favorite teams are the Washington Capitals and Sports Stars.
Besides Ovechkin, I suppose. Is he your favorite?
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
In Backstrom. And
he's pretty wild.
Yeah, he is. 500. It'll be 500.
Yeah.